Hi, my name's Joanne. I'm a Scientologist, and I'm here today to talk to you about something in Scientology that I use every day to help my kids. And it's the method of how to study, how to grasp what you're learning so that you can succeed in life. And I'm going to talk about it from a really simple viewpoint in this book called The Learning How to Learn. This is a children's version, and it just gives the concepts of what the three barriers or blocks are to learning that get in the way. Now, I home educate my daughters. I've done it for the last 5 years. I was really propelled into doing this because my youngest is hearing impaired. So she has a physical universe problem of grasping sounds properly, and it gave her a hard time trying to keep up in a class situation. So I just bit the bullet and thought, what do I want for my child? I want to protect her mental health and her confidence. I want her to grow up confident, and I have to be able to teach her myself, but on the pace that she's able to. So even if it takes longer, she'll still come out the other end, but the confident person that I want her to be. So let me first of all talk to you about these three barriers, and I'm going to talk to you about actually what is study. First of all, study is three things. It's looking at things so you grasp it, asking questions about things so you understand it more, and reading. Reading is the third thing, which is the hardest part often for children. Reading and interpreting what you've read and then putting it into use. That is why you would want to study. But of course, at school, there's an element of that, but there's also now we're going to test you. But you're tested often on lots of things that you don't really know how to use, or you don't really know where to use it. Anyway, that's a further discussion. So I'm going to talk to you about the first barrier to learning. Now, the first barrier to learning is called a lack of mass. Now, mass isn't anything religious here. Mass is the visual thing that you are learning about. So if you were you were going to go and train as a nurse, and of course you're in a classroom setting, you're learning about all these parts of the body and how the machinery works. Mass would be the actual things that you're studying about. So you would read a sentence about some part of the body and how it gets broken or how it should be set. But you need to have something visual to see. Now, on a simpler note, with children, let's say they're a 4-year-old and you're saying, we're going to go and gather some shells. Let's go get some shells. And your child won't know what shells are, and they don't know what shells look like. So you would just give them a shell. Show them that's a shell. That's one type of shell. And you balance out that word with something visual. It seems like common sense, but and we do some of it. But the thing about this technique that I'm going to teach you is it comes with certain symptoms. You display certain symptoms when you lack mass. And this is what I train myself in on this little book on what to spot when I'm working with my children, when I'm homeschooling them. So one of the symptoms here is the way they sit. So they're reading, and I see that they're all a bit squashed up, and or they're bent over their table. I mean, that's certainly in schools. And they can tell you they feel a bit spinny. They can feel a bit lifeless. Just so much reading, so many words, and just not enough visual. They can be bored. Oh ho, we've heard that many a time. I'm so bored with this. They need something to visualize, to balance out all those words that they can't create their own visualization of. They can feel angry, and we've seen kids lose it and my kids can lose it. And then when they do, I'm like, okay, hang on, let's go and get you something to visualize here. Thankfully, because I homeschool, I can just immediately Google anything. Here we have, you can wind up with your stomach feeling funny, stomach problems. You're getting into not just emotional reactions, you're getting into physical reactions to a lack of mass. Here you have, they get headaches. And this one is, they can feel dizzy from time to time. And the last one is sore eyes. Their eyes will often hurt. And it's just a very simple thing that I apply. I notice the symptoms. I teach my children the symptoms. You've got a headache? Okay, so you need to get something to visualize here. But I try and not allow them to just read everything that I think they can read.